The game weeks keep coming thick and fast. FA Cup weekends, then you had your midweek Premier League games, and again the Premier League this weekend, and it's getting to the business end of the season. Some tough games to pick this week, and I've gone for a lot of home wins. I'm going to go into my bankers, my upsets, and my half hedges for this week, game week 26. Let's do it. So as I said, a lot of home victories I've put down this week in Fan League. That's always been a theory that I've kind of held dear to my heart, especially when it comes to Fan League, that home advantage plays a massive part. And there's only 3 fixtures in my 13 this week that aren't home wins. I actually had to tweak a couple because, I mean, surely not all these guys can be winning at home. There's going to be some upsets, there always is. But my 3 bankers are all home wins this week. Manchester United against Huddersfield. Alexis Sanchez is there at Manchester United. He's had his debut now, and I think he's going to hit the ground running for them. He's a great signing, and I think they're going to go from strength to strength. And they're playing against a Huddersfield side who it feels to me like they're under strength. They needed to buy a few players in the January transfer window. I'm not sure they've strengthened enough, and I feel like they could still go down quite easily, actually. And I think this could be the start of them plummeting towards that, kicking off with what could quite easily be a heavy defeat against Manchester United. My second banker is for West Brom to get a win against Southampton. This is an absolute game changer in terms of the transfer window for a side. Often it's the teams down the bottom who do actually spend the most because they're looking to save their season. And in Daniel Sturridge, I think West Brom have done that. I think it's probably the most exciting transfer, comparatively, that you could probably see out there, because this guy scores goals. He just hasn't had the opportunity. At West Brom, he'll get that opportunity. He will be the main man there, and I think it's a great move for West Brom. I think it's a good move for Daniel Sturridge, especially in a World Cup year. And I think it's one that Southampton will be looking at and thinking they should have gone for Daniel Sturridge. They should have got him to be one of their players, because they need that exact thing, goals. They need a striker who could put the ball in the back of the net. I think that would be that would be a huge part in this game. I think West Brom, with that one signing alone, I think they can be safe now. I think he'll get the goals that will keep him up. And my final banker this week is for Wolves. No Man City on the Fan League game week this week, and so it's Wolves that are my guaranteed banker. I normally go for Man City and Wolves. Wolves 12 points clear. They're unstoppable. They are gonna win the title, the Championship title. Lost their last home game, so maybe isn't a guaranteed banker. But especially against the Sheffield United side, who were at the top of the table with them earlier in the season and are still sort of pushing for a playoff place. But I think Wolves are going to be far too strong. They'll want to get back to winning ways at home, and I think they will. On to my upsets, and I'm kicking off in the Championship with Cardiff against Leeds United. Leeds United at home, but after that last game against Millwall where they lost 4-3, they've had that wobble, and I think that might continue again. You saw it earlier in the season. They went on a great run, then lost 1 or 2 games and ended up losing quite a few. I think it was 6 on the bounce. Playing a Cardiff City side that has Neil Warnock as the manager. Neil Warnock will be going back to Leeds United, where it didn't really work out for him. He'll be desperate to rub in the fact that they're third in the league, Cardiff City. He'll make sure that they're up for it. He'll make sure that the game is not the most enjoyable thing to watch. And I think, knowing Neil Warnock as I do, I think they'll get the win. My second upset is in the Crystal Palace versus Newcastle United game, and I think with the sort of negative feeling around Newcastle at the moment, most people will think that Crystal Palace, and the general improvement that you've seen at Crystal Palace, you would expect Crystal Palace to get a win in this one. But Newcastle have been able to take points in those games against the teams around them. They've struggled against everyone else, and have certainly struggled at home as well. But away from home, they got a good win against Stoke City, another team around them recently, away from home. And I think maybe they enjoy the kind of a bit less pressure in terms of playing away from home as they do at St James's Park. They've got a new signing in Kennedy. I'm not sure that'll make too much of a difference, but knowing Rafa Benitez, he doesn't mess about. They'll be defensively sound, and I think they'll come away with a draw, which will be a slight upset against a Crystal Palace team that has improved and looks strong at home. And my final upset is a different upset of sorts. I think I can see a lot of goals in the Liverpool-Spurs game, but I cannot pick a winner. That doesn't mean I think it's going to be a draw, though. I think one team will win. And the reason this is an upset is that one set of fans is going to be very, very upset, because these two teams, they're so close in terms of the quality that they have, in terms of where they're trying to get to as clubs. I feel like Liverpool have the slight edge being the home team, and I think probably if you maybe pick one of them, and if I didn't half hedge, I would probably go for Liverpool. But 2 points between the two teams. I think whoever wins this game, in particular if Liverpool win this game, I think that could be curtains for the other side in terms of the Champions League. Not in terms of the points. There's always the opportunity to get that back, but as a body blow, I think it could be quite huge for both of these sides if they are to lose it. So that's my third upset. So let's finish up with my half hedges for this week. If you don't know what that is, that's when you pick two different results in a game. It costs you a little bit more, but it gives you a much better chance at winning. So as I say, a lot of home victories that I've put down here. And so the couple of away victories or the draws that I've put down, I've actually sort of safeguarded with often with a home victory. That seems to have worked out quite well for me over the past few weeks. So Brighton versus West Ham. West Ham fans not happy at all after last week's defeat to Wigan. I think they really thought they had a real chance of doing something exciting in the FA Cup this year. Not to be, so they want to bounce back from that. Brighton need the win here, and I feel like West Ham are sort of rattled enough for it to affect them in this game. So I've gone for Brighton, but these two teams, West Ham probably have a bit more quality, let's be honest. So I've half-hedged that one. Leicester versus Swansea. Swansea keeps surprising me since Carvalhal's come in, and for that reason, I'm half-hedging that one. Aston Villa versus Burton. Burton have surprised a few people recently, so although Aston Villa are the clear favourites in that game, I'm putting down an away draw for Burton. I can't see them getting a win. Same goes for Nottingham Forest against Fulham, who are in great form. One of the form sides of the Championship. I've been waiting for them to hit and to catch fire, and they have done now. But Forest, they got a win against Wolves away from home a couple of weeks ago, so they've got it in them. So I've put down a half-edge draw on that one as well. I've then gone with Leeds-Cardiff. I've spun it round there. Two teams very similar in terms of the quality of their squads. So I can see a home or away win happening there. And then my final two, Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. I do like Palace as a side, so I can see them getting a home victory this week. And as I said to you earlier, Liverpool versus Spurs, I've gone for both a home win or an away win because I think there's going to be a lot of goals in that game, which is probably the game of the weekend. So those are my picks for game week 26. If you want to copy them, you can do by clicking down below. Let me know your thoughts on this week's game week and join the One for the Weekend podcast. It's on the Bull Street channel every single week, and we've also got a league which you can join as well. Add me on Fan League, James Alcott, ALLCOTT, and then I can add you to the league and you can help us climb the League of Leagues that Fan League has. Good luck, guys. I'll see you next week.